My brother, yes. Tinubu must be in panic. He must panic. He need to be panic. And at the same time, my fear is that he should not die in that office. Shock. Because so many things is going on underground, which he himself know. And you and I did not know. I will not forget so soon what Gowon said regard to this military taking over. Even Gowon now, currently now in statement, stated clearly that the military regime has become much better than the civilian regime now in Nigeria and moreover in Africa. You can see what Ibrahim Traore is doing in Burkina Faso. Was it not 5 days ago in Ivory Coast? You saw the military taking over their president on the run. Nobody know the whereabouts the president. They say the Western Europe, the Western world told you and I that they have given us independence. And now we have come to realize that they did not give us full independence. So they are at all. They did not even give us full independence. The kind of independence that they gave to you and I was a temporary independence. It is now that we are coming to have our full independence. You see why Nnamdi Kanu, through his speech, Ibrahim Traore said that Nnamdi Kanu have tutored him and have mentored him. That was why he stood on his ground that the Burkina Faso must fully gain their independence and become an independent country the way it's supposed to be. You understand me? Likewise, you can see today, what is it called? What is happening in Burkina Faso? Let me tell you, Chad, is it Chad or Sudan now is already warming up, sending letters of joining the Sahel country. The Sahel country, remember Sahel country? Sahel, in case you forget, Sahel that comprises Senegal, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, and now Ivory Coast is about to join. And these people too have already chased France away from their country. I'm talking about Algeria too. So if you watch all this, you discover that Africans truly is fighting purely total freedom. They did not give it to them. And that was what Nnamdi Kanu saw before he started his speech and campaign. Yes, which Traore, when Traore watch it, it triggers Ibrahim Traore, Captain Ibrahim Traore. It triggers his mindset. And he himself, God helping him, and God so kind, he himself triggered from there and stood up and he stood on his ground. And what is happening today, you can see the evidence of truth in Burkina Faso. You can see the good things that God have used that young man, to perform. The miracles, the signs and wonders, the things that have not been in Burkina Faso for so many years, ever since they have their partial independence given to them by French country. You can see them having it today, enjoying it today. As we speak now, they have their gold now that France is using to brag. That gold now is no longer going to the French. It's now remaining in their country, and they are using it now for the development of their country. Let me tell you, it surprises me that the Europeans are developed, but they don't want Africa to develop. Let me tell you, I read one articles from Nnamdi Kanu. There is something that he said. He said in London that the British are practicing regionalism system of government. Everybody manage what you have, then submit a little to the federal. But in Nigeria, they refuse to allow us to do the same thing, because they don't want development in our country. They want development only in their own. And let me tell you for your information, in case you don't know, the uranium that they are using to develop their country, 70% of it come from Africa. Yet they develop their place. So, they don't want us to be developed.
So they want to control our resources.
They are controlling our resources already. In case you don't know, go to Tinker Island. You see all those importation, all those seaport and original that you are seeing. Those things, let me tell you, the original head office is not here in Nigeria. The head office of that seaport is in Britain. It's not here in Nigeria. And let me tell you, do you know that all the French colonized country, their central bank is not in their country. It's in France. So French controls their money, just as British control our own seaports. The headquarters is in UK, not here. Let me tell you, in case you don't know, the UK government are drawing 65 to 75% of our oil. Do you know that? So all these are the reason why we are fighting. Nnamdi Kanu rose up. These are the things Ibrahim Traore said. No, for how long shall we continue in this? So that's what we need a total freedom, not a partial freedom. We need a total independence, not partial independence. How can you say you give me independence, yet I don't have a say over my own resources? Is that an independence? You still dictate for me and decide for me. Is that independence? No, that is not independent. That is what I call partial independence. And that was what the Western world has given to Africa. And this time around, Nnamdi Kanu, by the help of God, God have used him to open every African persons, every African indigene, every African continent, every African blood, eyes, brain. He has opened our eyes to understand and to see that we are due to have our total freedom. Let me tell you, I got another information that during the war, the France could not fight for their freedom. French could not defend themselves, including the British. I will not forget, during the Second World War, under the watch of Adolf Hitler. You remember, the Second World War that broke out in 1939 and ended up in 1945. Adolf Hitler of Germany conquered the British. He conquered France. But in Paris, which was France capital, he said that place is too fine. That was why he did not bomb that place. Do you know how many countries that Adolf Hitler conquered? Thank God for Russia and America. If not so, it would have waiting be Europe. That today they are making, see, UK is bragging. UK is bragging. France is bragging. When Germany conquered them during the war. If not for America and Russia, you will not be hearing anything called British. They would have been under the influence and control by Adolf Hitler government or Germany. It was after the war that they have to divide Germany. That's when you start to have Northern Germany and the Eastern Germany before they finally come. Nazi. You are talking about Adolf Hitler, German government. Do you understand? That was conquered during the Second World War. So, with all this, you will agree with me, and I myself have, pointed out why Nigeria, why Africa need their independence. And secondly, regard to what this man have said in person of, this Plateau State go on. Yes, based on what he said, Nigerian politicians under democracy, there are a bunch of rooters. They are rooting them be criminal, them be thief. Then they thief me. They say only a Mefele. See them for paper. Over 77 houses. Over 77, if I'm not mistaken. Houses. Only him in one place, apart from other places. A Mefele. the former governor of Central Bank under the watch of Muhammadu Buhari. And if Emefiele can thief that kind of money to acquire that kind of houses in one place, that means Buhari have killed Nigeria. That means Bola Ahmed Tinubu has finished Nigeria. All these our politicians are criminal. They are a bunch of criminals. They are thieves. You see why they go on say that military is even much better than the civilians. And that is why you see in various countries in Africa, you see military taking over the office. And that is why Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is panicking today. Probably by tomorrow, they will be sending him to, to clinic for checkup because he's already having some tension, serious tension in his body. Don't you see how he carry this cardigan, this thing, and put on? He's feeling cold because of the panic. So, and he need to be panic. And there is another thing. Nature must play. And nature is coming to play because Nigeria needs liberation. Thank you.
Okay, but there was a viral video of some northern elders even crying for the what? They say what? Enough is enough. That they can no longer take this, and that what Tinubu should finally divide Nigeria. That Nigeria, just like you said, go on. Nigeria is seriously bleeding. They say Nigeria is not redeemable again.
Nigeria is finished. Nigeria is finished. I must be sincere to us. Nigeria is completely finished. What the northerners...
Is there no hope as an evangelist? Is there no hope?
Is there no what? Hope. Are you talking about hope? You talk about hope where there is hope. And where people are ready to embrace hope.
But Atiku is coming.
My brother, Atiku, yes, I saw what happened yesterday. That Tinubu, was rejected by the Oyo people, and Atiku was accepted by Oshun. Is it Oshun people? Abi? It has been like that many years before now. You can see what Davido during the campaign, what he said. He said before we leave them with fear, we allow them, and they claim that they are stronger. But this time around, we will give it to them whichever way they want it. And after the campaign, you saw what happened after the election, that Adeleke won the election convincingly, and his mandate was given to him convincingly, unlike the previous time that he was robbed. And you watch during that election that Tinubu visited that place. He wanted to use his influence to influence people for them to rig the election there. The Osun people now rose up in their large number with the Paco, with the stone, with the everything and dust, and they chased Tinubu away from Osun State. So that affliction of evil that he has afflicted the Lagosians, they don't want it in Osun State. And that is why the man said, I will not be a PDP. Being a PDP governor, and you expect me to work against my party. It's not going to be, because you can see Tinubu and Adeleke never work together. They never agree. They never agree. So Adeleke is a man of integrity and is a man of himself. He's a man that will control himself, not a man that will be controlled by a fellow man. Do you understand me? And that was why what happened. The Yorubas have, on their own, made it clear for everybody to understand. They have made their choice, and that choice is no other person than Atiku. It is a personal view and a personal choice. So you can't take it away from them. And remember that in 2027, one man said there is going to be APC versus hungry Nigeria. And that is exactly what we play. If actually, I said this when I was invited and interviewed by, City Stand TV, when I was asked, I told them that if Nigeria is a country whereby election is actually speaks, your vote actually counts, that in 2023, Tinubu did not win election, but it was given to him because both INEC, both Nigerian court is under the influence and under control of the incubated government. And who is the incubated government? Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the president. So both INEC is under Tinubu. Nigerian court is under Tinubu. You saw what happened. Buhari did it during his own time. Power of incubacy. He used it to influence. You understand? To the favor of APC. Now Tinubu have emerged. He has become the president. You know, at the end of the day, you and I will see what will happen. But if everything goes in transparency, me that is speaking to you, I will tell you vividly, so far so good. I will compete with Bola Ahmed Tinubu and I will defeat Tinubu in Nigeria. Tinubu has done woefully.
Will I call it too much confidence?
Yeah, not too much confidence. It is a full confidence because he has failed. He has not performed.
But do you think the northern elders are calling for division of Nigeria because
because
of the hunger?
They are not,
because of the economy is not.
Listen to me. They are not actually calling for hunger. What they are actually signaling to you and I is that in 2027, Tinubu should buckle up because they are willing to kick him up like a football.
Like saying, he said they are ready to...
Yeah, he said they are ready. Erufai said it. They said they go kick. You know the way that, you know, when you see football, the way you kick football, that is how they are preparing to kick Bola Ahmed Tinubu out of the office come 2027. They are coming collusion, serious one on how whichever way Tinubu wants it, they are ready to give it to him. Because moreover, they are the one that will give put to Tinubu in that place. They are the one that gave him the position. So they know how they give it to him. They know how they will take it away from him. And you know they are the side of the people that the Nigerians have believed that they have large number in terms of voting, in terms of population, in terms of everything. You understand? You give it to them. Nigeria have given it to them, and they are taking it.
But and Tinubu said Atiku and Peter Obi are playing. If they think that
their
coalition is, he says coalition is hopeless, they cannot do anything.
Excuse me, who is Tinubu aid? Is it Ononoga? Who is Ononoga? When Erufai is talking, we are talking about brutalized men. Brutal men.
We are not taking Erufai serious.
That is what you think. They not to take him serious. Not until Buhari serious. In case you don't know, even as he stand now, Atiku before doesn't control, but now he controls influence now. Because the way the Northerners, they are feeling it that Tinubu has turned it to Yoruba thing, that he favors only more in Yoruba, that they themselves are not being recognized, they are not being carried along. So, and they feel that we are the one that put you there. Now you turn your back against us, we will turn our back against you and we will deal with you. I do not see the way they are challenging Tinubu. Do you see Tinubu challenge them back? Power pass power, level pass level. If I hear,
he prefer action. Tinubu prefer action.
No, not be only nine Tinubu can they sponsor this one for Lagos State here. What is his name? MC Oluomo. If he's a man of integrity and principle, he's supporting Oluomo, and Oluomo was doing anyhow. You understand? If you're talking of integrity, peace, and gentleness, you talk people like Peter Obi. You understand? And that is why people like us are not ready, and we are not calling Obi to, you know, to become, because we don't want a weak link.
Okay, but what's your take as regards Tinubu saying APC is not forcing other politicians to come to APC, that is not making it a one system party? No.
Tinubu, of Akwa, that is Akwa Ibom. You can see the threat from the man, Akwa Ibom governor.
Is it desperate or is it?
They are desperate. Tinubu is afraid. Tinubu is under pressure. You understand? And he has to be under pressure because they are messed up. See, let me tell you, let the work you do speak for you. Now, I want you to point one thing that Tinubu has done for us. Mention one thing, just point to one thing that this is ever Tinubu has sent the office of presidency. This is what Tinubu has given to Nigeria. That we, you know, that will make me and you to give him our vote. Mention one. No, now mention now. Did you have any? We don't have. So on this, the only thing I will tell you that Tinubu have successfully achieved was hunger. He has afflicted Nigerians with the hunger. He has inflated Nigerians with the hunger. So that is the only thing that Tinubu, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has successfully achieved in his first tenure. By the way, if Tinubu is working or doing well, the Tinubu supposed to be struggling, fighting now, campaigning for 2027. 2 years, which you don't know whether he go there alive.
He'll be alive, I believe.
No, I'm not wishing him dead. But there is something I want you to understand. You cannot predict tomorrow. Why can't you do the job? Do work first. Allow tomorrow to tell of himself. Do what you're supposed to do. Do work. Let what you do speak for you, campaign for you. And because of this, that is why they are forced. Don't you? Okay, look at what happened in Fugbara. What happened to Fugbara in Rivers State? APC. Do you know? Don't you see the way they forced Fugbara now to now join APC? So they are just forcing everybody. They are just forcing everybody to join APC. Look at Okowa. You know, say, or somebody have already said it. If you join APC, your sins will be forgiven. Which sin? Your money, my money, where then thief. If you now join APC, EFCC will not come after you. And I remember what Yaya Bello said. He said he was among the people that rigged the election for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And he's a member of APC. Why should Tinubu send EFCC to him? Yes, he said it. The man that stole 80 billion naira. 80 billion. You know how much it is? And he was asked to pay 500 million. What is 500 million to compare 80 billion? What happened to the remaining money? But these people are criminals. They are just playing on our intelligence, you know. So they need to be kicked out. See, if I have opportunity to rule this country, many Nigerian politicians will end up in Kwanti. Thank you. In Ivory Coast, as we speak, my brother, currently now, Ivory Coast have decided to liberate themselves from the dungeons of the evil ones. As I speak to you, Ivory Coast have liberated themselves because they have been an instrument or a city or a place being used by the French colonial masters to do what? To launch the attack on Ibrahim Traore. Ibrahim Traore have escaped series of attack or assassination from these French colonial masters. And Ivory Coast was their spot. Even as I speak to you, before yesterday, when what is happening now started, Ivory Coast have some Al-Qaedas, a group of Al-Qaedas that launched themselves preparing on how to attack Captain Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso, of which, through the help of one of the immigration officers who witnessed, who saw them, now make a call to inform the young man, look at what is at stake and see what is happening in Cote d'Ivoire. And glory be to God that Ibrahim Traore has somebody like Vladimir Putin, who was on his side and who has been on his side, who helped him with some about 3 drones, which he used to do what? To wipe out the whole terrorists, those Al-Qaedas that have conspired and groomed themselves and make Cote d'Ivoire as a place of their meeting point before they will carry out their evil atrocities against any good government or any good leader in Africa. As we speak now, Cote d'Ivoire is in a serious famine, circles. And coupled with what Pan-Africa have prepared and already agitating for, fighting for the freedom of who? Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, Simon Ekman, and that Ambazonia guy from Ambazonia guy that was arrested by the Mr. Abacho, that was arrested by the Norway. You understand? These are the great people who are the person or the people or the person that championed this. There is no other person that Captain Ibrahim Traore captaining and championing the Pan-Africa to make sure that these good leaders who rise, who stand to liberate themselves from the colonial master, from the Western war of the Europeans. I'm talking about the Europeans, European colonialism. These are the people that they have stood to liberate themselves, and the Europeans doesn't want that, and they have been looking for a way to put them down. You can see what happened in the court today, that even Nigerian witnesses Nigerian judge could not be able to present the full witnesses incomplete, which led Omotosho to get provoked and said that is giving them 2 weeks to choose within 6 days inside the 2 weeks to present their full witnesses, and failure to do that is going to strike their case as a weak one, and automatically, if that should happen, automatically Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has gained the ground the more for the 3rd or the 4th time regarding to this struggle of what? Freedom. So I will say all this with this my little knowledge or token understanding. You will agree with me that actually Africans has woken up to liberate themselves from their colonial masters. No more tears and no more sorrow, no more intimidations. It is the high time we rise up. And I love what Captain Ibrahim Traore with the advice or the speech which he get from the knowledge he get from the speech of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu today and tomorrow, which other Africans I believe will soon rise up to join the race, because Africa must be free from their colonial intimidators.
What is happening now? Do you not think that the Nigeria government and other African leaders will be kind of panicked as regards what is happening?
There is already a serious panic in Aso Rock. And as you can see, the Nigerian today, the DSS, they are all, including Muhammadu Buhari, the former president of Nigeria, that is on the run now, on his way in the process of running, was interviewed and he denied of being involved or the one holding Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. You can read it today. The Nigerian DSS has completely and totally denied of being the one that kidnapped Mazen Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya. Are you hearing me? So, having said all this, you can see that vividly well, the kidnapper is on the run, while the person that they kidnap is the one calling them. That is to tell you, Africa is about to have a total liberation and a total change. Because, you know, sometimes I used to ask a question. Why is it that all these things are happening now? Why didn't it happen before or later? But why is it happening now that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu rose up? That is when Africa now wake up. That is to tell you, Africa has been waiting for a motivator. Africa has been waiting for somebody, a hero, a champion to champion something. And they need somebody to educate them. They need a lecturer to lecture them. And that is what Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has finished doing. You can see his speech, you can see his lecturing, you can see his teachings, you can see how far everything has spread, not just in Nigeria, but it has spread all over the world. And every nation, especially in Africa, are waking up from their dreams, from their slumbers, standing, rising to stand firm and claim what is rightly belongs to them.
What's going on in Ivory Coast now? You feel that Nnamdi Kanu have been vindicated?
Of course.
All his words that you have been talking about
His
for
teachings,
African
his
liberation.
lessons, his lectures has given insight, has awakened the waking brains.
But do you not think with this now, the court to see or Nigeria government to see hold him or clamp him down more, the more?
They cannot clap him down because they don't have a concrete fact. As you can see, since this court, the trial begins up to this very date, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu have been standing and outstanding. Because you can see what Omotosho finally said today. The young man was like, James Omotosho. He was like, you, the federal government, who appeal against this young man case, you do not have a complete evidence any longer. Where are your witnesses? Why are you having short comments? Whereas it is your opponent, in person of Kanu, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, was supposed to be the one having short comments. But instead of him having short comments, a whole Federal Republic of Nigeria is the one having shortcomings in the court of law. That is to tell you how weak Nigerian country is. How weak they are. You know, sometimes we believe, and it has been our mentality, that we will use money or use oil to bribe our way in everything. But they have seen it now that oil and money cannot bribe your way in all things. In regard to this case, Nigeria will lose once again because there was an evidence presented in the court by Nnamdi Kanu counsel, legal counsel. The winning of Nnamdi Kanu in the Federal High Court Enugu, the winning of Nnamdi Kanu in the Federal High Court Abia State, in the winning of Nnamdi Kanu in the Appeal Court Abuja, regarding to this trial. And today, this is another winning on his side, coming again to play. Yes, a hero.